Look, today calls are getting louder for federal intervention in the troubled Victorian division of the Liberal Party. Since the federal leader Peter Dutton refused to rule out a federal takeover a couple of weeks back, the whole Moira Deeming saga has only deepened, with the forthright Conservative woman now expelled from the parliamentary party room, but not the party itself, despite the Victorian leader John Pesutto refusing to explain her offence. It's become such a big issue in the last couple of days that ahead of the party state council meeting in Bendigo over the weekend, there's even talk Pesutto will be booed as he speaks, or that members will simply walk out en masse. And it's happened now that his factional henchmen are planning to bus in young Liberals to chant and wave on command. Sadly, I'm aware too of members who have now resigned the Victorian division membership of over the Deeming fiasco. Now, I know this firsthand, as many of these once members have sent me their letters of resignation. But that's what happens when members feel ignored. And political parties should always belong to their members, not to factional string pullers. That's why there's this talk of federal intervention. But as always, I warn, it should be a last resort. Still, federal intervention hasn't hurt the Victorian Labor Party. It's been run by a head office troika for the past 3 years, essentially to do Daniel Andrews' bidding, with a series of MPs arbitrarily stripped of their party pre-selections and replaced. And then there was a brief federal intervention in the New South Wales Liberal Party just before last year's federal poll, essentially to protect the pre-selections of sitting members. Any federal intervention in Victoria, as the Australian newspaper reports today, would have to be crystal clear about what it was trying to achieve. And none of what it needs to achieve is rocket science. The Victorian Liberal Party needs more members, better candidates, stronger policies. And given most of the powers to be that run the show in Victoria don't get it, I'll repeat that again. More members, better candidates, stronger policies. Because landing all three is how you win elections. More members mean better candidates. Better candidates mean better MPs, and ultimately, better MPs mean stronger policies. That means branches can't regard themselves as closed shops or insider clubs, weeding out applicants who might not be in the right faction or under the thumb of the current office bearers. That means the party being prepared to strip pre-selections from long-standing MPs who've passed their use-by date or have shown that they'd rather score points against fellow Liberals than actually take the fight up to Labor. And once better candidates are in the parliamentary party, as long as they're not then expelled by the current Labor-lite faction that's running the show, there should ultimately be better policy that creates a genuine contest with Labor. Policy like keeping coal-fired power stations open until there's a reliable alternative, delivering infrastructure on time and on budget, an end to stacking the public service in Victoria with political operatives, running hospitals better, ambulances better, lifting academic standards in schools and not just spending more, but getting better educational results. An end too to the politically correct assaults on Australia Day and divisive talk about state treaties with its own Victorians. The trouble with intervention, though, is it really has to then support the leader. And right now in Victoria, it's the leader who's the problem.